to nobody wants to live in a state of Leviathan where people have to sit outside their house with a gun and shoot away people from stealing their stuff all day.
Yeah.
I mean, societies exist, but the spiritual practices, the disciplines, and that's a Dennis Prager thing. I remember that from reading however many questions it was many years ago.
The 9 questions for philosophy about Judaism.
I was very influenced by it. But it's those, specifically those mitzvot, the ones that people really hate.
Yeah.
Those are really the Buddhist ones. Those are the ones that you do because you believe. And I think that's a very valid insight on the part of Tzvedek. And that's one of the things. So the other way of reading of Eikev Tishma'un that fits into this, that's used, is that the other thing is Eikev means a foot or a heel. It also means at the end. Right? At the end of a process.
Mm-hmm.
So, tishma'un means to hear, but it's like also in most languages, to hear means also to understand. So, the argument is that V'haya Eikev Tishma'un, when you do these things, there are things you will understand by being there. Very hard to explain to somebody the joy of Sukkot. I don't care, like that. I saw that. I sent you that link. Did you see that vlog? What do they call them? Vlogs, whatever. That some girl in NYU did.
I don't remember what it is.
I sent you a link to it. So some girl wrote a thing that non-Jewish girls that she saw people with lulavs and esrogs, and she just went off on this anti-Semitic.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's pretty little girl on the. It must be a college.
I'm normally
student.
very interested in what pretty little girls
Well,
say.
I think you should watch it.
When did you send me this link?
This morning.
Oh, wow.
So,
what was the essence of her critique?
No, all that she said, she saw these guys standing with a branch and she's obviously not a Catholic, right? Because Catholics like it so much they do the same thing.
Yeah.
Right, on Palm Sunday. They saw him standing with a palm branch and a yellow fruit.
And what was her criticism of this?
So
practice?
then she starts to describe it in very negative terms. And everywhere she goes, she sees, she's in New York City. Everywhere she goes, she sees Jewish guys carrying this. And apparently, she walks over to one guy who must have been Chabad, because this is a typical Chabad answer. And it's funny because they say it because they feel they don't want to missionize. Right?
Yeah.
So if a little obviously non-Jewish girl walks over and starts asking them questions about Judaism, so I mean he probably could have been a little better, or who knows? Again, this is a short vlog, but she complains that she went and asked the guy, "What is that?" And he said, "Are you Jewish?" And she said no, so he didn't talk to her. So, but those of us.
Was she a little miffed by that?
More than a little. You got to hear this thing. You'll comment on it.
Maybe that Chabadnik caused anti-Semitism. If only he'd explained to her the purpose of the mitzvot. Because these mitzvot are supposed to be our wisdom and understanding in the eyes of the goyim, the chukim.
Oh, there you go.
To be our wisdom and understanding in the eyes of the goyim.
You're going to start sounding like me soon. Obviously. The Midrash says that who is it? The mother of Edom. One of the. How does this go? Wait, it's in British. Somebody comes to convert and wants to convert. It says about one of the wives of Esau wants to convert and become Jew, and Yaakov chases her away, and the Jewish people are punished as a result of that forever, because one of the oppressors of Amalek, that's who it is. Amalek is born from a woman who wants to convert and is pushed away.
Wow.
So that's in Bereshit Rabbah. I mean, that's not even an obscure text.
I wish that woman would have asked Dennis Prager, because he would have told her that ritual is the embodiment of a value. And so by holding...
Well, that's what I just said. That's what I'm saying. We're all... Yeah, that's what we're trying to do here today. So if that girl is watching...
Yeah. give me an email.
Because of course in New York I think it was because he didn't want to be accused of being missionary, so they
right.
It's kind of, the thing about anti-Semitism is I always call it the anti-Semitism two-step. Doesn't matter what you do. If you're too rich, it's bad. If you're too poor, it's bad. You're filthy, or you're
too friendly.
If you're too friendly, you're missionizing. If you're not, you get, no matter what you do, it comes to a bad end. But I think overall, one wants to. That's why I'm wearing my Chile T-shirt today. You have to do the right thing. Anyway, what we were getting at was that. So we said that the other thing, the point is that it's a vehicle. So the experience of these things. So look, say what you want, complain, whatever you want. Sukkot is a happy memory.
Yeah.
Simchat Torah is a happy. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, you can say, "Oh, it's stupid." I mean, why are you walking around with a fruit and a desiccated branch? I mean, you can say all those things, and you know what? It's like the most joyful experience of childhood. And Pesach, and you know what? Even Yom Kippur.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Franz Rosenzweig. It's a famous story, right? He's about to convert to Christianity, right?
Yeah.
And he wanders in. It's funny. It wouldn't happen today.
What do you mean it wouldn't happen today? Why not?
None of that would happen today because we don't have that kind of services anymore.
How are their services different?
We don't sing like that, or who sings? Or the
Happy Minyan?
They sing like Karlbach. I'm not sure that would do anything to anybody.
What type of singing was this?
Well, it was a synagogue in Germany. It probably had a choir and a chazan doing the long cantorial piece. That's something you remember. I mean, now it's like, and people say that sucks. Jews say that sucks. Who wants to do that stuff? And it's true. Musically, it's terrible. I've always had a problem with that. I've always, but that's another conversation. So, but at that time, he walked into a synagogue and he heard the nusach of the davening, of the Yom Kippur davening,
yeah.
and he started to cry and he said, and it's obviously something that he remembered from childhood in a favorable way, and that's like Yom Kippur, which everybody theoretically hates because we're fasting.
Yeah.
My father used to say that. I'd say when you're a kid, and you're Jewish, and you talk about things like that. You say to a kid like, "What's your favorite holiday?" And he always used to say Yom Kippur, which I've adopted as an answer to my kids. And I just said that to them. It's a great line. I'm getting paged.
You have to take it?
No. I'm on TV. So, anyway, so there's something about the experience of some of these things. And it's funny that it happens to be the stupid things. The theoretically silly things that you remember. Certain kinds of food, certain kinds of fragrances, certain kinds of, Havdalah.
And also for every happy memory of the stupid things,
I'm
sure there are a lot of miserable memories of the stupid things that leave people out of their mind.
I guess, but that's not the point. The point is that there's something in those.
I'm listening.
Something in those practices that are a vehicle towards understanding.
Okay.
So he says that's the thing. So he says, and then there's like a really crazy thing that the Orpnei Moshe, who is like the wildest Hasidic commentator, I love his stuff, says that. That's why it says mishpatim. By Eikev tishmon at the end, there's a lot of things you'll understand at the end, and it says even the mishpatim, like we will understand it in a whole new, which are the rational ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's just that only appears that now. But when we really understand stuff, even the rational stuff will be in this whole spiritual level that we can't even comprehend today. That's like the famous thing that the Ramchal says about Adam and his spiritual. So he goes, in the time of the Messiah, in the Messianic time, right? He makes all these things. There's not going to be time, for example. He says time will be abolished, which we can't comprehend. And he says that. So he says the way that we comprehend the world at the end of days, again, Eikev, at the end of days will be very different than what we understand now. And his metaphor is that so Adam walked around naked and stuff like that, right? It says, and then in his fallen state, he wears clothing, right?
Yeah.
So, what to Adam was the physical.
Yeah.
Adam before the sin, before his chased Adam, was the physical world. Is to us the spiritual world.
Yeah.
And in the future, when we reach this next level of existence, this next plane of existence, we will think, we will